Good afternoon. Hi, my name is Katrina Tawil, and I am a Creative Memories Advisor. And I live up in Northwest Arkansas in a little town called West Fork, which is close to Fayetteville if you look at a map. I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about journaling. I'm very passionate about journaling because I feel like it is so important for us to remember the story. And I hear a lot of people say, I don't need to write that down because I'm not going to forget it. I don't know about you guys, but I'm at the point in my life where I walk into a room and forget why I came into it. So I know that my memory is not going to remember all those little details from 25, 35 years ago. And I've also had a grandma with Alzheimer's, and I've seen her looking through a photo book and there weren't names in it. And she said, oh, I can't remember her name. What is her name? What is her name? And it would have been so wonderful if I had been able to say, oh, look, right here, you said her name was Judy. Oh, that must have been when you did this, just to kind of help jog her brain. And so I think for a lot of reasons, it's really, really important for us to um, write down things as we go through our scrapbooks. So, what should you journal? Well, let me tell you some of my favorite things. The story. Describe the story. When you're telling someone about the photos, what are you telling them? What was going on? Where were you? Who were you with? Um, what are you thinking about in that moment? You know, sometimes we have funny pictures of us looking pensive or goofy, and where did that expression come from? What about that moment are you grateful for? Talk about sad times, scary times, hard times. I mean, right now in the middle of COVID, that is, this is a scary, hard, sad, emotional time. And so we've got to focus on, I think, all bits of that right now in order to make it through it. Um, why are the people in the photo special to you? When did you meet them? What kind of relationship do you have? Maybe some milestones you achieved. Did you get a degree? Or maybe your child got a degree. Maybe they graduated from high school, from kindergarten, whatever. Write out a recipe and the story behind it. Who gave it to you? Where did you get it? Is there a family history to it? Write the absurd stories. What happened? Why? Who? Where? Describe your daily routine. I mean, especially right now during COVID, whose daily routine looks different than it did 6 months ago, right? Um, Talk about your dreams, or maybe you went on a bucket list trip. Names, so, so important. Always include names. And so, what are some easy ways to journal? Well, let me tell you a fun thing right here: postcards. Buy a postcard when you're on a trip, write on the back, and mail it to yourself, because that is like the coolest way to remember where you were. It's got a postmark on it, when you were there, and maybe the fun thing you did that day. So, what happened? Take one of our pocket pages, slide your postcard into it, put it on the page, and that way you can see both sides of it. So, that's just a really cool, fun tip for taking on a trip. Another thing are our map packs. And these are awesome because they are like pre-decorated journaling pages for you. So let me show you. Like this one, see, this one has lines on it. Some of them have upside down words, so you can just decorate your page a little bit. More lines, different size journaling boxes. Maybe you want to cut this one in half and just have a little. These are excellent for several reasons. First, they're pre-decorated. They have lines. Some of us can't write straight or draw straight without a line. But also, they're portable. So maybe you're watching your kid at soccer practice. So stick some of these in your purse and jot a few notes. Maybe you write about what you see out there so that you can print some photos later and wow, you've got a page done. Or maybe you're taking a trip to a special Magic Kingdom take some of these and have all the characters sign them. So great things to just stick in there and have little extras for your trips. So along with that, our Peekaboo pockets. Okay, I showed you the pocket for the postcards. So we have these in 3 different sizes. We have 4x6s, which this package, and they'll go both Peekaboo pockets, both horizontal and vertical. We've recently have introduced 5x7s and the full 6x12. So the really cool thing about these 6x12s is that you could put 2, one on each edge of a 12x12 page, and so it could open up and you would essentially have a 12x24 spread, plus the 6x12 when you folded it in. So another thing I like about Peekaboo pockets is, okay, peekaboo. That means they don't always show what maybe you don't want everyone to see. So let me show you an example over here in my happy album. Okay, so this is a Peekaboo pocket I used about COVID. And so on this, the front part of it here, I wrote just the facts. Here's what's going on in the world, here's the key dates. But then when I flip it over, this has got more of maybe my personal thoughts about it. Maybe it's not something I want everyone to read, and so they won't when they're just casually flipping through my book unless they turn it over and read it. So my happy album is one of my favorite places to journal, so while I'm here, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. So I use the planner pages, so I have a spread here for the month, and then I have a couple pages that I leave to put photos. And I have one of those small sprocket printers so I can print out photos and they fit perfectly in here. So this is kind of what it looks like before I get my hands on it. So here's June in progress, and I just try to make a little note of what kind of happened that day, who I saw, maybe did I go do something. Here's how it looks, how fun it looks after the month when I go back and decorate it. And then here's a look at all the little photos printed out where I've gone in and journaled extra about what I did. So you probably wonder, why do a happy album? Why not do a big album? Well, I don't know about you, but I am behind. And I'm currently working on my 2018 album. And so when I get around to doing my 2020 album, hopefully in the next year, I want to be able to remember all the little details that happened. So this is my quick show of what happened, and it will help jog my memory for when I get around to doing the big album and print out all the pictures. Oh, let me show you one other thing over here. This is my husband, and this is an album his mother made for him a few years ago. And see, just something as little and simple as, I was in the 1st grade, I was 6 years old, and this was my teacher. You know, your journaling doesn't have to be amazing and pages long and all that kinds of stuff. It just needs to tell the story. And I'll show you one other thing. Maybe you can screenshot this if you want to. It's just some ideas for if you're doing a specialty album, what you might want to put in there or think about as you journal and do that album. So that, I just wanted to take a few minutes and talk to you about journaling because I love, and I'm very passionate about journaling. And oh, one more picture I wanted to show you. So I wanted to tell the story of COVID, and so my journaling isn't even like things I've written out. These are some screenshots I took off the internet of where we were at the end of March, April, and May. And this right here tells a story. It tells how we started out with a few cases, and at the end of May, gosh, look how many more cases we had. Another idea too, I almost forgot, is to take a newspaper article. What I have done in the past is, I don't know about you, but our newspapers are digital now. And so I just went out to the website and I took a screenshot of that newspaper article that I wanted to save, and then I printed it out as a 4x6 photo. So it didn't take up gobs of space in my book, but it told the story. So again, those are just a few little ways to do easily journaling, but the point is journal your story. Tell what it is for the future, for when you're old and cannot remember why you came into this room, then you'll remember what happened at that time when the photo was taken and why it was important to you. Thanks so much for being part of our virtual crop this weekend. I hope you are having a fabulous time, and I look forward to talking to you some more. Bye-bye.